All right, so we're gonna do a very like informal, impromptu video here on the tropics because it's been very quiet. All right, we've had three named storms. You guys may not have even realized that we had Chris, but we've had three named storms so far this year. What we're looking at is the potential for our fourth. Now we are a long ways off. Understand that we got a little tropical wave out here, a little invest. It's going to move into this part of the Gulf, the Caribbean, the Atlantic. Notice the National Hurricane Center is shifting the area of potential development here further to the west. So I will be as straightforward as I can with you. I do not know where this is going. I don't know if anybody knows where it's going. Here's what I will tell you I know versus don't know. The track takes it pretty solidly into the Gulf. That seems pretty fair to say based off of our steering winds and our overall atmospheric scenario. Keep in mind, very, very warm sea surface temperatures. So anything with any sort of organization moves over this, you're talking possible intensification due to very warm sea surface temperatures. But that's not the only thing you need for a tropical system. You got to have good wind profiles. Here's the issue. So take this one. This is a bit of a rogue. That is the climatological track. That one doesn't really have a bearing on what's actually happening as far as atmospheric conditions. That's just based off of history. Okay, so now that we got that covered, a lot of these do some loop-de-loops. Let's go to the European model. I grabbed this one because historically this one sometimes performs better. The GFS likes to show like an apocalyptic setup. If it ends up getting much stronger, we'll discuss that. But this, I think, shows a good idea of what's going to happen. So let's stop this at about, let's say 6 o'clock on Saturday. What do we have? A broad area of low pressure, lots of rain. But notice this. You see this here? We don't have true cold fronts this time of year. But what we do have is a boundary in place. If this boundary sets up and it stalls over the Gulf Coast, what is that going to do? It's going to act as a barrier. So now, if this were to form into something, it might be a depression, it might be a tropical storm, it might even be a hurricane for all we know at this point. But if this verifies and this boundary stays here, now you've got a tropical system spinning out in the Gulf. This is Thursday afternoon at 2:45. I say all this to say, I think it's going to enter the Gulf. What it is yet, I don't know. I don't think really anybody does at this point. This is Thursday, August 1st. What we're going to watch for is how long does it sit over these waters? What is the wind shear profile at the time it gets over the waters? And does this frontal boundary come to fruition? This would be our defense, the Gulf Coast defense, if this front or this boundary can set up far enough south. Here's another scenario. This boundary doesn't hold tight. The atmospheric flow changes, and now you don't have a boundary. This would move on shore, and you'd have a totally different scenario. Again, careful what you look at, careful what you read. As a meteorologist, we look at this on a day-to-day basis. I have no problem saying I have no firm conclusion on where this is going. But we'll walk you through it each day as there's updates. We'll give them to you, and you'll have your latest right here.